Hi, how you doing? Justin here. In this lesson today, I'm going to be teaching you 6 Angus Young style riffs, like rock lead guitar riffs. A lot of Angus's style is built on blues. They're essentially blues licks from kind of, Chuck Berry, T-Bone Walker, that kind of Albert King kind of styly licks, but played a little bit heavier, a little bit faster. So what I'm going to do is, there's 6 licks. I'll just take you through them one at a time. Lick number 1 sounds something like this. A little bit slower. Let's check it out in a close-up. Lick number 1, nice and slow. Using my third finger here, 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, roll, back, and plenty of vibrato. I've got a whole lesson on this rolling technique if you're struggling with that. Pick, pick, flick, and it's important to realize that this note here is the note that's on the beat. So it's 3, 4, and da. So make sure you kind of suss that out, because this is a good one to be practicing repeating along with your metronome, but just make sure you're there with the rhythm. 3, 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Lick number 2 sounds something like this. Bit slower. Okay, let's check that out as a close-up. Okay, lick number 2, nice and slow. Lick again. 2, 3, and 4, and 1 E, and a 2 E, and a 3 E, and a 4 E. 1, 2. Making sure you tone bend, drop it down, tone bend with vibrato. Then we've got here 8, 5 flick off. 8, 5 again, but picked, then. Now I usually pick, flick. Pick, flick off, pick, flick off. Another little roll in there. Yep, 5, 7, 5. Lick number 3 sounds like this. But of course it tends to get repeated a little bit more, the first lick. But I've just put a little tag on it. A little bit slower. Okay, lick number 3. Now this first part gets repeated a lot. Now I've just written it out 2 times officially for the lick, but of course you would do it as many times as you feel like. It's this. Now some people might prefer to do the bend with a third finger. I don't recommend doing bends with the fourth finger, only with the third finger. So, I mean, you can if you like, it's up to your playing style, it just doesn't work for me. So if you're going to do this style with your fourth finger here, you'd probably swap over there for your third finger for the bend. Doesn't really matter. I suspect Angus is going to be doing it here with the second finger, making sure that you get that full tone, so it ends up being the same as that note on the second string. Lick number 4 sounds like this. Very bluesy lick. Let's get to a close-up. Lick number 4. So here we're starting off with a tone bend on the 12th fret. Little triplet chromatically down the blues scale. Now we've got a little 5 notes over the space of 4 rhythm. Basically what that's meaning is that this little passage here finishes with this note on the beat. Just kind of, you can use hippopotamus or university. Hippopotamus or university. If you want to get your group of 5 there. Hippopotamus or university have 5 syllables. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, triplet, hippopotamus. And bringing this back onto the beat there. But it's a blues riff, so you can play with the rhythm there a bit. Just play with it. Lick number 5 sounds like this. Now this is another repeating lick. This bit can get repeated as many times as you like, and just finishing it with that really. You can pick every note or do them all as flick-offs. Of course you can probably get it a bit faster with the flick-offs. It doesn't quite have as much guts if you do it that way. And of course this one can go right up the neck. There's lots of different variations that you should play about with the course. Okay, lick number 5 here, we've got here 8, 7, 5, over and over again. Now, if you pick every note, it sounds a little bit more aggressive. But you can always do pick, flick, flick. You could use those fingers if you want. And this lick definitely works if you move it up 12 frets to, so your first finger will be in the 17th fret. Of course, alternate picking. Important thing with a riff like this is to work out how to get out of it, because repeating you'll find fairly straightforward, but then what you've got to figure out is how you're going to finish it. Now probably the most obvious one here is putting a bend on the end, or sliding up here is quite nice, up to the 10th fret with the 3rd finger, 2nd string. Also gets you to the next position, which is quite nice, or you could put a bend on, wouldn't really matter. Lick number 6 is kind of a country style riff that Angus uses quite a lot. I'm going to show you one way of playing it, which is going to be this. But make sure that you understand that just kind of the idea of having this 12th fret bend and then adding the other note together, very commonly done in ACDC stuff. So make sure you check out lots of variations of this yourself. And I'll also show you a quick close-up of how to do the same lick further up the neck. So we'll have it here. and up here. Both essentially the same thing. Okay, lick number 6 here. Now I'm showing you, the one I've actually tabbed out for you is this. But there's loads of variations with this. The whole the concept that I'm trying to get you used to here is bending this 12th fret and then sneaking little finger underneath. You can hold that little finger down and play, it's quite nice. You really muck about with that quite a lot, it's nice. And essentially what we're doing, just so you understand the kind of the theory behind, as we're bending, we're really reaching these 2 notes here, which are 14th and 12th, which are essentially part of little A chord there, A-shaped bar chord. That's why the lick works. Or, now exactly the same notes can be found further up the neck here, putting little finger on the 17th fret and bending the 16th fret up a tone. Well, I hope you've enjoyed having a play around with those Angus Young styly licks. The big deal here is to make sure that you practice variations of them. Don't just learn like a set lick. And what I really recommend that you do is you get a backing track, some sort of A blues or rock backing track, and then practice using each of the licks one at a time and experimenting with how you play it so you learn kind of variations of it, and then try and mix it in with all of the other licks that you know. So play one lick and then go into this new lick deliberately, kind of thinking about it, and play the lick and then go on to back into your regular playing. Try and get that new lick in as many times as you can. Now that's a little bit kind of conscious. In real life it shouldn't happen like that. You shouldn't really be thinking much at all. You should just be kind of feeling and doing. But in order to get that way, to get it kind of instinctive, you need to have practiced these things a whole lot. It's that repetition that kind of makes it natural for you to do those kind of licks. So practice, consciously thinking about it, trying to get those licks in as best you can and as often as you can. And probably what you'll find is the ones that kind of naturally fit with your style of playing, they'll come out on their own without having to think about it. And the ones that maybe don't fit so well with your natural playing style, maybe you won't play them so much, but that's cool because they weren't the ones that were naturally right for you, so don't stress about it, you know. It's lots of good fun, plenty more ACDC licks. Highly recommend that If You Want Blood, You Got It live album by ACDC for lick stealing, because it's live and the Angus's guitar is really kind of clear in the mix, and it's quite an easy one to transcribe from. Not too much production kind of covering things up, really raw and lots of really proper blues licks in there. So check that album out, that would be a highly recommended one. But remember, transcribing is the way forward. Don't just be getting licks from me and off tab books and stuff. Try and get into working out stuff by ear, because you'll learn it loads better and you'll really get inside it, and you'll pick up the vibrato better and the styling of it and the rhythms of it and everything else. Because remember, music is about listening, not about reading. Anyway, have fun with all of that, and I'll see you for another lesson sometime real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.